Good morning. So the First Presbyterian Church solar panel project was born more than 2 years ago with our church sessions book of unfunded projects. These are projects that have been approved and planned, but they aren't in the budget and they're waiting for donors to fund them. Back then, we planned an array to be installed in 4 phases to give us about half of the solar energy that we need for our church's electricity. Little did we know then that the opportunity to begin this project would come so soon. Donations started coming in from members, and then this past February, I got a phone call from Hoosier Interfaith Power and Light, the faith and environmental organization I work part-time for. They were applying for a solar grant from Indiana's Office of Energy Development, and they knew that we were among the churches that were ready for panels if they got it. So they invited us to be one of 5 churches that would be included in this grant. The other 4 are 2 African American churches, Progressive Community Church in Gary and New Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church in Merrillsville, also the Friends Meeting House in Bloomington, and Downey Avenue Christian Church in Indianapolis. So members of the Green Team and the Property Committee and the Finance Committee got busy assembling the grant application, and in March we learned that we would receive $25,000 to match our $13,300 that we had already raised for solar, and over $12,000 that were budgeted for energy conservation measures in the church. With this, we bought a system of 48 panels, 12.96 kilowatts of energy. And looking around the room, I see that there are several people who have here today who had a variety of parts to play in planning and giving and in carrying out this project. And I'd like to invite everyone to stand who was involved in this project from one end or another, from beginning to end. If you don't mind, please stand. If you were on the, solar panel project and selection, if you were working with the grant, if you've been involved in many of our energy conservation measures over the last few years, changing light bulbs and so on, would you also stand? And if you were, thank you, and if you got a home energy audit with Energizing Indiana a couple of years ago, stand also. So we've been a busy congregation doing these things, and so thank you so much for your involvement. So the grant involves several commitments in the future. We've committed to continue our measures to reduce the church's electricity and gas use by 25% over the next 3 years. Since we've already begun that, we know it's very doable. We've committed to engage members to conserve energy in our homes, and since many of us have already begun doing that with the audit, and since we are Presbyterians who care about stewardship of our resources, that's very doable too. We've committed to send our youth to a low-income weatherization workday and retreat with youth from all over Indiana on Martin Luther King Day weekend, and Courtney is leading that, thank you. And we've committed to publicizing the benefits of energy conservation and renewable energy in several ways through the Solar Forum that Don mentioned that's coming up this Wednesday evening, where we and others can learn about solar for homes and churches. Second, we'll host another workshop later for area churches that will go into depth on practical measures for conserving energy. Third, we'll install a permanent sign so that our neighbors will see that our rooftop is now a power station. And fourth, we will use media and social media to publicize our progress. Now, if you haven't gone there yet, here is a very cool thing. If you go to the First Pres website, 1stprez.org, and look to the left-hand side, you can click on a link, thank you, Keith, and it will show, you could go to a page that will show how many kilowatt hours are being generated today or this month. and a lot of other interesting stuff. As the price of electricity fluctuates and inevitably rises, we will be assured that we have locked in our cost for some of our energy for a generation to come. And we'll also know that we have started to do our part as Christians to help assure that the next generation will inherit from us a world that can thrive as God intended. Thanks be to God for this wonderful gift.